Hello and welcome to sunny Santa Monica once again. It is quite a pleasure to bring you the show from such a lovely location. We've got the beach, we've got sand. Often in a beach you'll find sand, and often the sea as well. And that's all true here in Santa Monica. I am joined by the usual white people, Dan, DDK Kapadia, and Eric Stromberg. Eric the Bears. Stromberg. I like saying Stormberg. It does sound a bit
it's nice.
A bit GOT. But here we are. We have some very interesting Counter-Strike coming your way today. Our second set of semi-finals starting in Europe, of course. Ninjas in Pyjamas versus Mouse. I am very much looking forward to this matchup. I am very much looking forward to that matchup. But first, let's get into the format again. By week 4, wouldn't go through the format. However, the first 3 weeks differ from the second or the final 2. First 3 weeks, you win the week, you go to LAN. The last 2, you are looking to accrue prize money. People with the most prize money who haven't qualified already will make it into those last slots to make it to London. So these are the teams playing in this week, so we can have a look at the bracket and see the success and failures. FaZe being upset very early by Virtus Pro. They 2-1 them, and then they got taken out by a Vanguard. And an entertaining match yesterday. Lots of interesting clips, especially from the likes of a Vanguard, and maybe we'll see more from them tomorrow. They took out Force 2-0 in the first part. G2 losing to Mousesports 2-0 in their first part, which puts Mousesports in this spot, and NiP bested Epsilon 2-0 themselves. So that's all going to be very interesting indeed, and we can see that the first match today is going to be Mousesports and Ninjas in Pyjamas here in the European segment. They're all playing for a spot in the finals, the grand finals, which will be in London. The first finals, normally in London. ECS.faceit.com is where you can pick up some tickets. I would love to see both these teams here, but perhaps only one will make it. Only one will succeed through this particular match. Of course, there's more play to be had next week. Mousesports or NiP, both got big fan bases. Very interesting new Mousesports lineup. So yeah, ECS.faceit.com, that's where you can pick up the tickets. They're still available. I believe there are various different discounts. If you're a student, there's a student discount. All the information should be on the website, so check it out there. SSE Arena in London. You've got Wembley, you've got Counter-Strike, you've got Nando's, you've got the River Thames, you've got deer. There's deer in the parks there, some of the royal parks. You can't fly drones in there, but you can go and look at the deer. And there's plenty of other things to do as well. These guys have said nothing just yet.
Because we took people, James.
We took the ticket sales away from Dan.
I respect
because
the
he can't
host.
be trusted.
I respect the host.
He can't be trusted, but you could do the socials, Dan.
I mean, you could do the whole show yourself, James.
You could do the socials.
How about that? I don't do any work. Right, so if you want to send James a tweet, then you can.
Just stop. All right. If you want to send us if you want to talk to us on the social media, okay, you've got the ECS on the Twitter. All the VODs are on Faceit on YouTube. You'll soon have the flamethrower video, which we premiered earlier this week as well. And we've got more shenanigans to come. We've got how many spoilers do I want to give away? We've got an anti-tank gun that we may or may not have fired at a car, which will happen next week. There's a lot of spoilers.
What's a Nando?
A Nando.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nando's. Don't forget the S, Eric.
Nando's.
Yeah, we're paying you money. You can't just say what's a Nando.
Well, I don't even know what that is.
It's Nando's. It's chicken. It's delicious chicken.
It's a chain restaurant.
I believe it's a South African chain of restaurants.
Nando's.
But you know, everyone likes chicken. But in London, it's become a thing. People say chicken Nando's. I don't say that. No. Right?
Sounds weird.
I will say Nando's. Yeah, I mean, just Nando's is fine.
Okay.
You know, you've got the peas on the side if you want. Right, but it's all about the chicken, man. We've got a butterfly chicken, we've got a boneless chicken. You know, if you just haven't got time for the bones. I was raised by an African mother. I could deal with bones, no problem. That is absolutely fine. Let's have a look at the matchup. Let's have a look at the maps these guys are playing on. Dan, I think this is where you'll have comfort in speaking English.
Well.
All right, Eric, let's go. Let's have a look. Talk to me, Eric. We've got Nuke as the pick from Mousesports.
Surprised NiP didn't ban Train. But because Mousesports, they look really good on Train, but they decided with Nuke. And Mousesports bans Train. Is that right?
That's very strange.
Okay, so maybe they don't want to play against NiP.
That's actually an interesting call because that is, as you say, like a very good point. Like map-wise, they actually kind of match up pretty well. Although NiP, you would imagine, would have a slightly stronger map pool, being together for a longer period of time. And
what does this mean?
Oh wait,
have you messed it up 2 days in a row?
Wait.
Okay, what happened here?
What's going on?
They've nosed it right up.
Okay, as you can find it. Okay, as Nuke and Fun it. Okay, what happened here? What's going on?
They've nosed it right up.
That team swap.
The team swap.
okay.
Okay.
Well,
So
that
NiP ban train,
a
that
lot
makes
of
more
sense,
sense
yeah.
now.
Can we just make sure we all we're fully hydrated, we drink water in the morning, before we go to bed, we have a nice cup of tea, and we all come in focused and ready to have a proper veto segment. Okay,
So
it was bad enough when they chose like one person shooting another person with a Glock as the HyperX play of the day. I won't forget that, guys. Anytime soon, okay? I won't forget. Not yesterday's one, the other one. Don't try and sell out. Oh, Fallen's ace. No, no, the one Glock before. Okay, let's not try and pretend it never happened. All right, so we've got Nuke, Inferno, and Dust 2. I like these maps. I'm a fan.
So the interesting thing is that Mousesports, I think they've actually somehow gotten off pretty well here. Considering the fact that there's no train in the mix, I think that Nuke is a map where NiP are going to have obvious advantages because they have a lot of experience on there together. NiP, I mean, let's look at it this way. NiP are not the most tactical or strategic team, but what they have found recently is, much like that Cloud9 Boston winning team, they found like a pretty smooth level of just enough tactics and strategy, and also enough space for their individuals to kind of seamlessly work through the rounds and not feel sort of hindered by an overburdening of a structure. And I feel like they found that style. It's taken them a while, but they feel like they're super competitive right now. So for me, that gives them the edge, because Mousesports on Nuke, I don't know about you, Eric, but although I feel like they have the players for it, I feel like under Carrigan, it's going to take a while for them to really make that work to have any level of depth on the strategy side of things.
I thought they liked Nuke, but then I saw them get spanked on Nuke, and then I'm thinking, maybe they don't want to play Nuke. But then it's on here, they didn't ban it, and NiP picks it. So with Kerrigan and the crew, I'm wondering how they'll play it. And the thing I want to see on Nuke, though, is Rops. He made that video once where he hops up and does the little surf on the mini.
That was beautiful.
That was great. I want to see that. I want to see some of those plays.
Well, what I want to see is some predictions. It's time for the predictions presented to you by Pinnacle, who give us our odds, and sometimes they're pretty generous, but it's time for us to make our own predictions first. All right, I'm going to go first this time.
Okay, you go first.
I'm going to pick Ninjas in Pajamas, because Get Right's my brother. That's it. That is my reasoning. I offer you no more than that. Eric.
Ooh, this is going to be a tough one, because NiP, they always play. They're always hard. They're super hard to beat, even though they don't win all the time. I want to say NiP, but Mouse is creeping up in me. So I'm gonna go with Mousesports, just because I like Rops. I like Frozen. I think they're up and up, and NiP, they're doing great. But Mouse, I like Mouse.
So this is
No.
Well,
See, I'm pointing because it's Connor's turn.
Oh, okay.
It's Connor's turn. Can we just remember who the host is this week, please? Thank you. Sliggy.
Thanks, James. I'm going to go with Mousesports. I think Mousesports win Inferno and Dust 2, but lose the first map, Nuke.
Yeah, so this is amazing, because it's no one really knows where to go, because that is the credit to how exciting the series is going to be. We have two really super hard-hitting teams. I think it's super hard to predict. Dennis for NiP has been incredible recently, and I feel like he was sort of the missing piece for them, and they are on the up right now, NiP. So the thing is that I'm going to go Mousesports. I know. So that's the thing, is that I can't predict this, but Mousesports, it's between the mind and the heart, but then there's an element of uncertainty there as well, because Mousesports, like Connor said, that you have that Dust 2 pick, and I think Mousesports are absolutely getting one of the first two maps. And with that Dust 2 pick in the mix, and let's not also forget that even though Nuke is a map which can be quite difficult for teams that haven't been established for a long time, in the previous Mousesports, where Chris J was calling, they actually had a pretty damn good Nuke, and Rops was pretty innovative, like a very smart player. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they still have quite a level of depth and tactics that, let's say, we didn't see from MIBR yesterday, who arguably should be more prepared on a map like that, although they are building it into their pool. So
okay, let's look at the fan predictions. I feel like there's been so many changes in the map. Ooh, 60%. I thought the NiP contingent, but maybe they've lost a little faith. They're the underdog as far as the fans are concerned, and we'll soon find out where Pinnacle stand on this. They're normally on point, but sometimes I feel like they're just getting a bit crazy with things. But no, this is very, very reasonable. So I would say this is fairly close. Some of the closer odds that we've seen so far this week. Mousesports a favourite for Pinnacle as well. Someone's laughing. Why are you laughing?
I feel like the funny thing is that it doesn't really make... So from all the results and everything, from the matches that we've seen of NiP and Mousesports recently, I feel like this doesn't make a lot of sense. But I feel like the reason why these numbers have come out like this is because all the hype is around Mousesports. They have this a team of very exciting fan favorite players that everyone is super excited to watch.
Yeah.
I think that's part of what it is.
Some mystique almost.
A lot of people are predicting with their hearts here today, I think.
Okay.
Flavor of the month.
Interesting. So what you're saying is that I have the right prediction.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think
Wait, what?
on paper, I think your prediction makes more sense.
Okay.
Okay.
I respect that. I respect that. Honesty's good. You know, it's cool. All right. Well, I don't know, man. I think for me, it's hard to have like a definitive pick in a match like this for Mousesports purely because it's early. I mean, yeah, the plays are great and they've got lots of potential. But again, for me, I like to look at an identity, and when a team is new, it's difficult to have that straight off the bat. But maybe we'll see it today. Ninjas in pajamas will be defending Nuke to start off with. They've got Dennis with a HE grenade and a defuse kit, rather than a smoke and a defuse, which you might see in different situations. Oh, it's a bait setup, looking to bounce it off the corner. Maybe lovely. We love to see some team play. I actually have a video to do on the ramp of Nuke with a different team, but never mind that. Lovely taps from Rops. He's been dropped to P250. He is the raid boss outside, and now he's dead.
Isn't they going to be coming in? HE, oh no, Dennis repositioned. Oh, still not too bad though. Carrigan will take a lot of damage. No Kevlar. The only guy with no Kevlar actually, so that's, I guess, a win. And the NiP players will reposition to the lower bomb site. And Mousesports going to get pinched here because their flank's coming at the same time, but if they are fast moving forwards, which they are, they look like they might not be in too much trouble. However, Forest is alive in a pistol round, so there's always trouble to be had as GetRight comes in from the back as well. Very labored, and that was such a must frag situation for GetRight. And now it's down to Forest to create a distraction perhaps to allow GetRight to get back into the action. But Forest will be denied. And there you go, GetRight. He'll get one, but this might just be over now.
Save the kit, man. Probably wouldn't help him really. Or Nuke specifically, but...
Yeah, Rob's opening that round with a P250. Just that little timing maybe made Dennis kind of hesitate, maybe walk towards under ladder, and then Mouse just went out ramp. So simple timing play from Mousesports. It works, but a lot of it had to rely on Rob's hitting that shot. It was a beautiful shot, to say at least.
When you take a moment to think about the diversity of weapons being in use in CSGO at the moment, it's a pretty good spot.
Yeah, it's a lot of variation. Variance.
Quick to complain, but slow to credit, I think, the wider CSGO audience, but we see a lot of different weapons at the moment. Rob's getting his bell rung, but he will survive. Same cannot be said for Frozen. Dennis is putting in work. Woxic taking some damage. The HE might do good work as well. Carrigan wonders where half his life has gone, and Lecro is here to follow up. Loads of HE usage from NiP, and it's doing pretty damn good damage. They're in a really strong spot now.
Yeah, both Carrigan and Rops won Deagle Bullet from death, and Woxic's not too far from that either. So it's a bit of a standstill because they don't really have anywhere to go. Rares will move. And in moving, you'll get caught by Woxic. So that could be the opening that Mousesports needed. It's 3v3 still, though, and there's lots of danger that lurks. But they do have a minute to go. So there are moves that they can make in this position. And NiP doing the smart thing, just holding position and waiting for Mousesports to make the play. It's their prerogative to go and try to find a bomb plant. So the NiP have the bomb site, so they don't have to move.
I think Rob's got the memo. Still in T-spawn, kind of listening around. So he's going to have to really slow. The Mousesports only has 35 seconds, and two NiP players are downstairs. Roxy does take out Lecro, but they have no idea. I think one's just hiding around, lurking.
How will they choose to attempt a bomb plant? Dennis is so low, just through the hole, indeed. It's a peep show for Dennis. Okay, Dennis with 2 HP now, with 14 seconds to go. Very limited in where he can hide. Looking for the headshots. Oh, did he see something? Oh, he's so close, but no. Essentially a double peek. Mousesports slow things down. They use the time available, and they just about take it over the line.
And that's really good patience on Mousesports. It's a 3-on-3 situation. Two of you, of your players are one shot away from death. It's very risky just to take lower without all the people that you have available. So Rob's being so far away, Mouse just held their stance, waited, and then finally, once Rob's got in position, they peeked and took the site together. Textbook play. This brings a warm feeling to my heart.
Yeah, you know, one thing with Mousesports that will be really interesting is that I think is. If I'm thinking like what team stylistically is not a good match for them, which who would they find difficult to play against? It will be those teams that are more tactical, that are better able to use the utility to shut down players and rob them of options as far as engagements might be concerned. So, and I don't think NiP is necessarily that team, and so that's why this part of the reason why this will be a fun match, because it'll be very scrappy. I think we're going to see a lot of fighting, a lot of awesome clutch moments, and I don't think either team will be too overwhelmed by the usage of their opponent's utility. And Mousesports so far off to a good start, and I'm happy to see this because I do feel like NiP are the better team overall right now.
Nice work from Woxic. Just love watching him aim at things.
He's on right now. His aim is snappy, it's precise. He's hitting the shots in the first bullet, headshots.
Did you change your sense, James?
No.
Okay. Woxic has like 6 times as fast as your sense.
I don't think I'd ever have control. I'd probably give myself more RSI symptoms just trying to control the mouse at such a high sense than I do trying to move the mouse with my wrist only. Well, that's such a low sense.
He also has left-handed mouse.
Oh yeah. Well, that's like most, just almost entirely fingers, almost. So
minimal movements.
Very minimal. It's like 10 centimeters for a 360. That's 5 centimeters for a 180. That's
glad that
2.5 centimeters for a 45
glad how specific you were right there.
We have an execute into the A bomb site. Get right standing, and the molly down to 20 HP. There's a flank to his left. Hasn't seen it because of the flames. Oh, the smoke around the flames. Either way, Forest taken out on the high ground, and that is a completely compromised Ninjas in Pajamas, but that frag before the bomb's planted for Dennis makes a hell of a difference. Dennis now on the high ground with the AWP. Lekro showing some presence, looking for something. Accepting the wallbang. Nothing doing, and he has been outmaneuvered. Do they hunt? They've got to read that he's probably going towards CT spawn now. Rops moving through B, starting to clear out the save positions, and Dennis off he goes. Again, swiping the wall, just giving sound cues away. I don't know why people do this. Why?
Well,
you trying to save your weapon? Why are you swiping the wall with your knife?
This is a great round though from Mousesports. It's one of those classics. The other team finally gets that full buy-in. They really want to play a long, like a slow rounds. They've got all the utility. They've got AWPs, and you run it really fast. Sort of almost running a set piece into a bomb site and try to just take away all that potential time for them to find engagements with the AWPs in the round, and those clubs are disgusting.
Yeah, I like the route that one of the Mousesports players took and taking the bomb site, catching Get Right off guard, because Get Right was obviously looking towards Hut and the right side of the bomb silo, and usually the common route is to go where Get Right was looking, but kind of swept around to the side. Molotov blocked his view. Was it planned? I don't know, but it worked.
Yeah, it was a good choice, and they put NiP in a pretty sore spot. The AWP is still alive on Dennis, of course, but Woxic has not got his own. And good movement coming in from Mousesports, generally speaking. They're looking pretty coordinated at the moment. Headshot coming in from Forest, but Rops is still going to be whittling down the numbers of his opponents. And nice shot from Chris. I feel like this match has the makings of being the best series of the week.
It does.
On paper, so I'm hoping that it delivers.
Rez, Get Right, and Forest have a combined 2 kills so far. So it hasn't been so successful, but just yet. But there's plenty of time for recovery. The loss bonus is at its maximum. Again, since the update yesterday, there's no more stacking. It's not quite Jenga now. It stops at 3,400, which everybody is happy with. It was just a little weird before. Bombs being planted. Taps, burst, spray from Forest. It'll do the job, but he has no clues as to where anyone else might be. You can see the off angle from Carrigan, the Krieg. 2 bursts from him. AWP rescued. 5-0 for Mousesports. Now, NiP have all the money. They can buy whatever they want. This is the time for them to make a difference.
I would have called a timeout if I was NiP. Because one thing I noticed in their defense is their coordination's a little off right now. People aren't looking in the right spots at the right time. Teammates are getting flanked from the side a little bit here and there. So maybe just to kind of rehash, maybe play a little more defensive and grouped up as a CT, because Mousesports is all over the place. They're trying to find all these pockets and timing windows, and it's working really well for them.
Oof. Well, because it almost, with the chance there, but the flames do make it difficult to see. And NiP hoping not to get absolutely owned this time around. Now they have a full buy again. And so here, Mousesports, just applying some presence everywhere. We see a late set of outside smokes. Again, you kind of do have to do these smokes pretty much every time. You can obviously mess with the timings, but it's really to suggest that you're going down lower.
Create an argument. You could go down lower.
Sam?
Or that you could go down lower.
Yeah. And okay, well, Rose is in good position there. Slight shadow advantage, but Rosen still hits the shot. Then it's with the trade, though. 50 seconds to go. Mousesports have Karrigan outside. Need to start figuring out how to use him. So he's going to apply some presence. So they know that he's there. And they are committed towards upper at this point, it seems. Karrigan. Oh! Caught by Forest. And NiP looking good here.
I think the grenade trajectory pinpointed Karrigan's position, get right up top, resetting it. So all the information is old, but Woxic is good for it. That one at least. 25 seconds to find 3 players. Might be a lot to ask, or maybe it isn't. Looking for somebody to rotate. Ooh. You see him getting the flick, but didn't quite register Lekro in time. And that's the first round on the board for Ninjas in Pyjamas. However, only 2 players survive. So now you can see NiP's round loss bonus was at max. That's the first round they won, actually, so they would go down 2 regardless. First round you win in a half. If you have been losing, you go down 2 notches.
I like how with Woxic, there isn't aiming. There's just the guys. If the guy's on his screen and he's scoped in, the guy will die. There's the aiming. It's just like taking out the equation. It's just like, do you feel what I mean? Because that's like how I feel. If someone's on his screen and he's time to shoot, they will die.
Oh, Lekro. That's not a good idea. Pulling out your knife or whatever.
Oh, the baits.
Yeah, no assumptions made by Mousesports despite taking out Lekro in that position. They don't just assume that the area is empty. So this is looking really difficult for Ninjas in Pyjamas. The beginning of this match, they've struggled to win that 1 round and they are being pulled to pieces like a cruel child with a small insect. Forest, not much he can really do here. Just try to hide in plain sight, which is what he's doing at the moment. So 6-1 Mousesports. Nuke, I believe, was the pick of Ninjas in Pyjamas, but this is not the start they were looking for. And again, their loss bonus was at max. I know this doesn't look... I'm not seeing anything to have confidence with just yet. But again, 6-1, it's a bad start, but by no means does it have to finish this way. Of course, again, going back to the loss bonus before, you could almost get punished for winning rounds, the way the money worked out, but that's gone now. So I think everything's in its right place as far as the loss bonus and so on is concerned. So this is the first full day where I think across all events and tournaments and games of Counter-Strike, we'll see how it plays out.
So far, Mousesports are looking pretty indomitable here. They have, obviously, the 6-1 scoreline. They've bested NiP in a couple really big buy rounds that they've had. They haven't had a huge amount of buy rounds just yet. But it feels like NiP aren't finding ways to contest Mousesports too much early in the round. So I would not be too surprised to see NiP putting more pressure outside on the next buy rounds to see if they can find a way to make things a bit more uneasy for Mousesports to get an early pick. Frozen's down secret really fast this round. He's already in the vents. I don't know that they have any idea about this. Well, now they do.
This is, well, any damage would be great for Ninjas in Pyjamas in this round. Oh, well, now it's maybe more than that because 3 versus 2. Get Right's got a P50 kill onto Frozen and it becomes a winnable round, although you've got a Woxic to deal with, which is never good if you are the opponent. There's a great save from Chris J, but he's exposed to the ramp position just about Woxic. Oh my god. What were you saying, Dan? They see someone on his screen and they just tend to die. Absolutely correct. What a great pickup for Mousesports.
Yeah, Woxic, he's feeling good. Obviously, when he's not doing well, Mousesports is going to have a lot harder time. We've seen that a couple times in the past. It's rare, but he's feeling. I mean, what can you do? There's not much strats you can do for that. You gotta literally shoot him when he's not looking. That's the only way to kill this guy right now. Shoot him when he's not looking. How do you do that?
Well, okay, it's quite something, isn't he? Well, either way, another buy round for NiP. As that round loss, bonus has accrued. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Well, it's not that much damage, I guess. A little bit.
It's not the end of the world, but
It's one headshot with M4.
more aggressive setup here for Rez outside. He's usually the guy that will be making this aggression, often found around the main position. But Mousesports showed in the previous round that they threw these smokes sometimes, quite late. And here we go. Now you got to kind of check some of the close positions, otherwise the CTs can just know that nothing's happening there, and they get all the information. So here goes Frozen to do that job, and he'll spot Rez. So that's important because at least they know that he knows that no one's going outside, which means that any push they make towards the inner areas of the map is expected.
Shadow advantage used to great benefit outside by Rez. 3 versus 5, quite the handicap for Mousesports. Even damage would be fantastic though, but that's not happening at all. Karrigan 1 versus 5 in the smoke. That is exactly the round that Ninjas in Pyjamas needed. Everyone surviving. Dennis steals an AWP. They've got AKs as well. Lots of upgrades for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Just a little padding for them.
It's nice to see NiP kind of not fumble the ball. I mean, after they won that first gun round, you saw Let Crow push ramp and he had his knife out as they wise swung him. So it's like throwing away a round right after it. So NiP kind of locking things down, maybe waking up. Is this the first scrim of the day? Probably not, but you're playing against Mousesports.
I have to say, I do like the current economy now. I did enjoy the severity of the old one, but I suppose there is more Counter-Strike to be played, which is better for everyone. At the moment, trying to defend this A bomb site, and it's back to, it's almost Groundhog Day. Ninjas in Pyjamas losing players, losing the bomb site. Rez in the garage, 2 versus 4. A shell shock play from Mousesports, and there's not much for NiP to do, but try to hold on to what they have. With the lost bonus, they can buy in the next round, but with an early frag like that, Rez is looking for an opportunity for an early 2v2. Doesn't look like he'll get it, though. Against one of those windows which is passing by, and if something appears before it disappears, then maybe you go for it. But if it's just empty and you watch it go by, then opportunity comes and goes, and it is 8-2-2 for Mousesports.
Yeah, they're really choosing the rounds pretty well, and I like how they are mixing up their pacing, although it's not always working out for them. Again, it may not work out for you one round, but it may have a good, it may be a good thing in the long term because it just makes you harder to read. So we have a 4-buy from Mousesports again. Their money's not that great, and same can be said for NiP. So pretty pivotal round here for NiP to make the comeback. And one of the cool things with Mousesports is they're playing Nuke in a way which is very much keep it simple, and which I appreciate. I think it's much better to do the simple things well than complicate things. Crochet will try to make his way down the vent, but he will be stopped. And very fast moving around from Karrigan though, catches Dennis outside. Look how quick he's moving down through into the hell position. Lekro will stop him. Chaos here is... Now Rez is pushing the flank as well. I don't think this will be expected. And this may be... Oh, it's Frozen. No, it doesn't look like they're going to expect this. This could end the round now as Rez comes in for the flank. How much can he get? Spots 1 and the second as well, leaving just Rops alone in a 1 versus 4.
It's a great turn of events. Rops really doesn't want to get too close to that Molotov. That would be all the information that the CTs need. You see it spread closer to him by the vending machine, but the crisps are safe. 1 versus 4, Rops collects the bomb. Now, will there be a re-pick just to see where the bomb is? 1 minute on the clock, and he moves to the high ground. He knows that somebody is at the entrance. Oh, this could be a master stroke. The man, his brain is so much bigger than his actual head. There we go. That's that taken care of. No sound cues. He's got time to play with. Good ladder movement. Not the first time we've seen that today from him, but this might be a superior angle. Indeed, it will be. So many angles as you come out of that hut door. When you're on your own, there's only so much you can do, really. 8-3. Ninjas in Pyjamas on. They've got another opportunity for a comeback. They've got 3 AK-47s this time. There's the initial execute. Forrest shutting down the play towards the vents. That would have really compromised the positions of the CT. That's a fantastic play from Rez as well.
I like the move by Karrigan I think he should have slowed down, though, once he got towards CT spawn under heaven area, because he was all alone. I know he's trying to make a play and whatnot, but maybe next time, just after you get the kill, stay back, wait your teammates to work the map a little bit, and then do it.
Well, they'll charge down, again, just mixing up the pacing enormously. 1-for-1 down as they move towards Secret. There's still... It must be Robs. It's always Robs. Yeah, Robs is harassing the door position. And just threatening that lurk. Lekro with the lineup, and Moxic even with the team kill. However, Karrigan with a trade. And that's going to allow them to go for a bomb plant now, I think. Rob's still working the map there outside, and there's so much time remaining that Karrigan doesn't have to do anything. He could even go back out Secret into the outer bombs, into the upper area if he would like to. Rob's caught by Forest. Karrigan in 1 versus 3.
Creating some questions, which have now been answered as he's been spotted by the player on the ramp, and again, creating some more questions by going through the door. That's what I was alluding to. Open doors. Is he inside? Is he outside? Clearing the inside while he's outside. Decontamination. But he's about to get shot in the ear by Forest. In one ear, out the other, and that will be another round for Ninjas in Pajamas.
Smart play by Get Right, knowing the angles, waiting for Forest. It's just refreshing to see that stuff, because you just want to peek. You're right next to the angle of the door, and you just want to peek it. I know you guys want to peek it if you have that opportunity. Because you're a peeker, James.
I'm a peeker at the right time. You don't give me enough credit, man.
I give you lots of credit.
Eric starts nagging me now in games. Don't peek, don't peek, don't do this, don't do that. Okay,
Look,
Grandma,
I'm giving little.
Grandma.
I'll give you little.
Stromberg.
Give you little. I'm just helping you out here a little bit, all right? There are times where you have to peek. Sometimes you don't have to peek, all right? I want to win rounds, and when I see people peeking, when bombs planted in post-plant positions,
I'm not that guy, Eric. That's not me. I'm not that guy.
The Nile's a river in Egypt.
Mousesports have found themselves on pistol, so the struggle for Ninjas in Pajamas may bear some fruit after all. They could potentially get 7 rounds out of this half. I mean, Mousesports will be on the full buy before then, but maybe this is time for momentum. 2 AK-47s and 3 AUGs in this particular round for NiP. They've had some opportunist AWP stolen from Mousesports, but haven't really had that much success. It's a fast execute towards the vent at the very least. Lovely spray down from Forest. The bomb's falling down towards the bomb, but there's drops on that gliding flank towards main. Karrigan and Frozen remain with Desert Eagles. He's got a golden koi. Perhaps he'll have more success than... Never mind. Man advantage for Ninjas in Pajamas, and that's Karrigan taken out, leaving Frozen alone. Plus he realized the bomb is down in the vent. He must know someone is guarding the angle. Very patient shots for the Deagle, respecting it, but not quite being rewarded, and he'll go down the vent as well. Knee first, that's a trip to the hospital.
Good resurgence from NiP, winning the must-win rounds, and they're making it competitive. So they've at least got 5 on the board, but it is generally harder to string those T rounds together. Well, for most teams at least. So 2 very different halves, so we'll have to see how stylistically it matches up. But 2 Kriegs, a Scout in the hands of Mousesports, along with the 2 AKs. And there's no Sniper on NiP. AK and 4 Kriegs, AUGs that is. And everyone's going up top the silo. Ooh, Rez had a good angle there though. Picks up the kill into Chris, Jay. And now things must slow down a little bit. Will there be any assistance here for Rez? He saw a lot of action up around the silo area. No need to peek it though with the man advantage, although Dennis will perhaps walk straight into the angle here. Got to be careful with this one. I'd imagine that he won't peek it unless there's a flashbang out, but even if it's a flashbang, it might be too far from Karrigan to blind him. So I'll have to see how that dynamic works. Rez using that shadow advantage again, and there's the peek from Dennis. Traded.
So satisfying to delete people with a Krieg. But more people need deleting as far as Mousesports are concerned. There's still a man down, and there's another one. Rez taken out, creeping outside. Frozen cuts noise, but there's only one place he can be, and that's on the roof. 50 seconds remain, plenty of time. Not much in the name of sound cues by Mousesports. Karrigan baiting for Frozen. There's plenty of trades. That leaves Lekro alone with a high ground advantage. He's seen both of them, but he can't quite hit the spray, leaving Rops on 13 HP. And it won't be 8 rounds, 7 rounds after all for Ninjas in Pajamas, because Mousesports have made it to 9.
That play by Kerrigan was so key. Just making noise, look at me, shoot at me, and his teammates kind of work around that. Overall, good patience. Good usage of working with the timings by Mousesports. It's all about bait and rotates.
Last round of the first half, and Dennis will be able to eke out another AWP. Nice to see Dennis with the AWP. He had some really nice plays this week with the AWP. Often we'll see Forrest on it. Maybe we'll see Forrest with it on Dust too. Perhaps it is position and map preference that determines who has the sniper rifle on NiP. But Dennis has been in great form recently, with a multitude of weapons, including the sniper. But they are a little short in this last round. 2 UMPs. Got a lot of utility though, so we'll see how it plays out. Frozen's on the Mac 10 for the last round as well, so there are shortcomings on both sides.
And maybe he'll go down through the vent. Or maybe he will try to be the guy jumping around the corners around Secret. So far, Mousesports have been pretty good at using what they have effectively, and Frozen indeed will go down towards Secret, trying to gain as much space as possible. He's sprinted all the way down by himself. And Rez, doesn't really matter if Frozen in such a forward position. He's only got a Mag 10 and his teammates are dead. That's crazy that Rez was able to do so much from that position. He's been spotted there before, but it was by Frozen previously.
He's just got a lot of information as well. He saw somebody at the front, he got shot from the back, so he knows where 2 of the 3 players are. Although if one person still lurking around Nuke. Not too much Ninjas in Pyjamas can do with that. You can see Get Right can be heard. Rob's trying to figure out where this sound is coming from. I think if he had realized, he might have aimed. Now Get Right seen him immediately going for a wide pick, but Robs is ready for it. Looking for a trade fragger, elevating and completely changing his position. Not quite making it though. Although Dennis won't necessarily know that. Lecro's creeping through hut or considering it. Oh, there's the info for Kerrigan. Do they know where Dennis is? I don't think he's made any sounds yet, but he better get his skates on. Rops is looking for it, though. Oh, 1 for 1. Immediate trade, and that's double figures for Mousesports. A fantastic start for them. The fan favourites, at the very least. At half-time, they lead by 10-5. Who will win the pistol in the second half? Let's find out when it starts after the break. And we're back.
And we're back.
Ninjas in Pyjamas will start on the T side in the second half. Lecro and Get Right with grenades, all Kevlar for Mousesports. And now look at this aggression from Mousesports. Good to take the game away from Ninjas in Pyjamas. Not quite happening though. It's 0-3 in terms of headshots. Chris J spotted by the ramp, getting tagged, and that is quite decisive. 5 headshots. Not even 20 seconds gone in the round. And just like that, NiP are off to winning ways. 0 kills for Mousesports. Everybody loses everything. Beautiful holds from Dennis. He's got his Twilight pistol.
James, when you thought it was going to be a blowout in the match, NiP, that's NiP things, clawing their way back. They have alligator's blood. You can't get rid of them that easily. You're going to stick around like residue.
Does alligator blood beat tiger blood? That is the question.
I guess that's something the South might
They wouldn't
have to
eat
tell us.
jaguar blood. Jaguars are beasts.
Yeah, they are.
NiP walking outside for the most part. We've got Get Right keeping the CTs honest in case they chose to push the lobby position. Maybe they will. Karrigan with a Mag 7 seems hungry. Frozen seems to jump down the vent and go back up the ladder, so I think he's trying to bait Get Right, but Get Right is just about ready for it. Down to 5 HP. He's been tagged quite a bit. Karrigan seeking something. Oh. What? From the ramp, Chris J. That's nasty. I guess they said he was tagged, and he managed to do a good job. Karrigan gets shot in the face, and that leaves Woxic and Chris J. Double scouts, and now it's just Woxic with a scout, no Kevlar, trying to do whatever damage he can. That HG is going to be brutal, and the brutality will continue with Electro. 4 players survive for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
NiP taking the safe approach, knowing that CTs are buying on second round every single map. That is the meta, so smokes outside, be safe. You know they're not going to have Molotovs. Usually it's going to be pistols or scouts. You see a shotgun and Karrigan's. So
I need to try that wallbang. That's awesome.
it's nice. You can do it with a rifle too.
Through the trophy cabinets.
It's a very paper thin wall.
Clean eco from Mousesports.
Ooh.
Apart from the P250 on ROPS, what do they have in mind here? These sound cues will not be heard by Ninjas in Pyjamas.
It's choo-choo train.
4 players moving through the B-bomb site, and that's where Ninjas in Pyjamas are going. They are well equipped, however, to smoke off the choke points. Oh, money makers, money makers. ROPS is P250 pace for itself, so he's lost nothing in this round. Other than his life, of course.
His dignity.
P2000, don't see those every day. That's the one, that's my P2000 of choice. On the rare occasion. To be honest, I think I've given up on using it because I just think, especially on an eco round, if you're able to get into a sneaky position, then if you flank, let's say on overpass and they're planting default on A, you're gonna get a kill on a P250 with a P2 USP, but with P2000, you might take one shot and just get blasted by somebody who's in divider or something.
P2000's too inconsistent for my taste. Yeah, it can be accurate, but sometimes you aim at them and the bullets just paint around their head. Yeah, but USP seems like it's always on point. It's never going to have that random factor like a P2000, so... Oh my goodness, Woxic!
Oh, that actually connected.
Yes,
I looked at that and I was like, oh, he missed. I looked top round like, what? That's quite confusing, but I'll take it. I'm sure he will too. All right, so... I do love the amount of scouts that we are seeing. Because of more force buys, I think it's great. A scout's a lot of fun, very high skill weapon. And Woxic, due to the gap, is going to spot quite a lot here. Right? They know that people have gone down. There's a smoke in anticipation. So Mousesports are controlling the movement of NiP. Carrying on that auto shotgun, that'll be interesting to see how that pans out. You can see he's by Hut, so it's a very classic shotgun position. But he may not see all that much action. ROPS and Frozen, they look dangerous in these positions. Oh man, this will be tough. NiP using utility though, that's important. ROPS is being burned. He has to fall back. Frozen will fall back with him. I like it.
Time is on Mousesports' side. It is their ace in the hole, along with the man advantage. Dennis slowly repositioning. They're trying to offer a fake. 25 seconds remaining. Pop flash for his teammate, maybe not. Karrigan waiting. Oh, they're all moving over towards the A-bomb side. They've got a good read into the pajamas, and they've got the trades there as well. Woxic moving up. He's only got a scout. If they plant on the other side, might not work out. Ooh, they're not giving too much opportunity, but Forest will take all those opportunities away. Great adjustment from Ninjas in Pajamas. It looked disastrous. It was a great play, I think, by both teams. Mousesports maneuvering, avoiding engagements, using time. Ninjas in Pajamas reading what was going on, making the right play into the A-bomb site. And now Mousesports are out of position, and they may have to hold on to what they have.
Yeah, that's really cool. You don't see that very much, actually, teams using the vents in that way. To kind of split back on that pro. But it only works really in a spot where you've pulled a lot of CTs down. Otherwise, you'll just get, you know, wrecks coming out the vents. But this clearly was one of those moments, and by design.
That's actually pretty good point. If the CTs did not over-rotate towards lower, NiP probably would have gotten shut down with these two people being in the upper bomb site. But that's the mistake that Mousesports did. With about 30 seconds left, they assumed NiP were going to be planning lower, and they paid the price because NiP read that and adjusted perfectly. Yeah, that's a good shot. That's a really good shot.
Yeah, it's true. It's the over-rotation that gets you sometimes, but it's hard to know.
It's hard to know.
It's hard to know. Sometimes you got to gamble a little bit. Either way, we'll have Woxic on the AWP, but he is glass cannon. But that's fine, perhaps.
Just need to hit one shot and run away.
It's fine, perhaps. You got to commit that. Is it fine or is it not fine?
Well, depends on what happens, I guess. If he's keeping his ranges far away, then he'll be fine. But I don't know what Woxic will do. You know, and on his mind, maybe he's going to go aggressive. So running down, they're running back up. Perhaps speak to, you know, if there's a guy in garage, they could offer a fake. So they're pulling rotation again. Or that's the point of what NiP just did, is to pull rotation down to the lower bomb site. And Dennis is going to help to try to sell that later on now. So they've set Dennis up to be the distraction. And they'll go upper. So they're trying basically a variation. It's the same idea as the previous round, just executed slightly differently.
Dennis with some presence. Now, Woxic saw people rotate back out of Secret. He doesn't know how many in total went one way or the other, but I think the inclination is there that Mousesports may expect an A play. So far, so good for Karrigan, moving around the smoke now. As they start to fall, the trades continue. Man advantage for NiP. Rob sees one, but it gets taken out by another one, and that leaves Frozen out of position. So I do wonder if Mousesports position themselves to maybe slightly expect more towards the A-bomb site. Either way, Ninjas in Pajamas with their execute, with their trades, abusing the numbers advantage of a T-side play into any bomb site.
Well, the great thing about what NiP are doing as well now is that they've just convinced Mousesports to have too many players rotating or too many players sort of out of position on A. And now they can just go down Secret and probably not have as much of a defense there to worry about. So,
yeah, I kind of like what NiP did. It was a little unconventional. They sent 3 people towards Secret, so if there anybody there, they could guaranteed an exchange kills. If they're spotted, it might pull more rotates towards lower. And after they secured Secret, 2 people just walk back out to back to T-spawn from outside. You don't see that too often, because obviously if you take Secret with 3 people, might as well continue to do it, right? But they didn't see anyone, they didn't get any kills, so they must have assumed, Mousesports might be playing more of a defensive setup. Maybe they already have people down lower, maybe they have people in upper. So it's a good, interesting tactic by NiP, and I like it.
Timeout from Mousesports. Now, the first half looks pretty strong for Mousesports, and it's looking fairly solid for Ninjas in Pajamas at the moment. They've won every round so far. They've had some great reads. The game sense has been there. Again, that's one thing. Like, you're one player on the server, but really you're picturing. I mean, it depends on the strength of your in-game leader as well. But like, your in-game leader will be picturing 10 people on the server. So all the information you communicate to him, you'll try and picture what the Mousesports team are trying to achieve, what information they have, and what they might read, and trying to adjust to that, as well as your own intentions. And they seem to be doing that quite well. It's been stimulating to watch so far, and the score is now tied. So they've had the pause. Woxic's got the AWP. They're at max loss bonus. They've got everything they want, Mousesports, apart from some round wins on the second half. You can see Woxic making his way towards a secret position. Dennis is looking for information at the moment, and he may find it at great cost if he looks the wrong way.
And it begins. Early advantage for Mousesports, and it's so important. I really like this adjustment from them actually, because having Woxic sort of show presence there, it kind of hinders that conditioning that NiP set upon Mousesports, where they you know have this there's always this unknown element about a secret that Mousesports were guessing too much. But now Woxic's in a more forward position there, so he's got more information. He will rotate, of course, moving around with the AWP as he does. And Mousesports a much better position to deal with this round from NiP. Ross only gets one, but in goes Woxic, and we know that he doesn't miss. So he looks for the next one, and he's going to get the next one. Just one more to go. He hits him. It's the leg shot, though. Dennis picks up the AWP. Quickly turning to the flank, but Chris J will collect that AWP straight back. I wonder what Woxic's accuracy is with the AWP.
You mean how many shots he misses?
Like a railgun accuracy?
Exactly, yeah.
I should have that in this game. AWP accuracy, scout accuracy. Little player, something else to look at.
Because I'm just saying that I haven't seen him miss.
He's been hitting a lot of shots.
I don't know how relevant those. I mean, it depends on the map, and if you go for some wallbang attempts like on train, how relevant those stats would really be. But anyway, into the pajamas, executing straight into the A bomb site with 100% success. 2 unanswered kills, smoked out of position. Mousesports. I don't think they've got anybody on the high ground either. What do you do from here? They're not going to give you an opportunity, NiP. They're not going to serve themselves up a free frag. So I think it's already a safe situation for Mousesports in round 22. As you can see, they're backing off. You want to disappear before these smokes go. We've got NiP players on the silo. We've got them by T-Red, almost like the beginning of the round. And the round's already over.
Yeah, this is really cool to see. I think this really shows you that NiP are a really confident Nuke team, because it really shows the most on a team's T side of this map. And they're looking drilled. They've got an answer for everything. They've got some really nice rounds where it's very structured in what they're trying to achieve. Like if there's like a first phase of the round in the first 30 seconds, they have to achieve X in that time. Then they can move to achieving a Y in phase 2. So looking really confident. There's none of this sort of walking around, like people being like, okay, not really sure what's going on. Maybe I can get a pick over here, maybe not.
They have an agenda, game plan. They're tossing smokes outside. They're taking secret. They're faking it. They're doing upper rushes, upper lurks, pretty much throwing everything in the cat at Mousesports. And Mousesports is, I'm sure they're feeling a little dumbfounded on their CT side. Usually CT sides are a little easier. And here again, another upper rush by NiP. They're just running over Mousesports.
Yeah, it's just as like Mousesports was doing to them.
There's no pre-Molotovs. I don't think I saw one. Maybe they should start doing 1-3-1s. You know, guarantee that upper hold.
But then when they do that, does the game change for Ninjas in Pajamas?
Yeah.
That's the weird thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, let's adjust to this, but that's what they want you to do. So you may play against that, expecting them to go somewhere else because of that. But we've got a flash play. Mousesports not wanting to give up anymore, especially when they've got players on the high ground, but they have limited success. Chris J rescues the AWP and he'll start to fall back. But that's a double-edged sword. We can adjust to what they're doing, but there's no guarantee they're going to do it next round. They may read we will adjust, and then take a place they expect to be weak. So there is no 100% correct adjustment to be made by Mousesports.
Yeah.
If I was their coach, I'd be like, okay, send one guy secret. They had some success with that. Keep 3 upper. One person being a fast rotate to ramp, maybe a little ramp support if necessary, but ramp guy will have an option to rush down lower as well in case they get overwhelmed in secret. 1-3-1's usually pretty safe on a map like Nuke, because I think upper bomb site is a little harder to retake than lower bomb site in terms of CT. There's a lot of weird angles.
So they have outside. Oh, nice boost there. Or jump up onto the red container. T-Red will be his friends. And they'll get the first pick. Much needed first pick in the round. So what does NiP do? Because they've sort of conceded outside presence based on Chris J's pick. They could slow things down, but the problem is that they don't have any utility beyond the utility they have on Lekra and Forest. So if they decide to go back outside, which you kind of want to do because you, after the Mousesports take it, you don't want to just let them know where you're coming from. So you've got to re-establish that map control and presence. But because they have such low utility, I like the fact that they're actually committing towards outside with 3 players. But this is the problem. Woxic is such a big problem. Oh my Dennis! That is stunning.
Right eye. Right eye peek.
The right eye peek.
He's having the time of his life, Dennis, this month, I think it is now. Ninjas in Pyjamas looking to extend their lead. There's still a man down. Rops's glass smash will be heard. Frozen can't find the angle just yet, and there was no transfer for Rops. Not fast enough. 2v2 with 30 seconds on the clock. Smokes to create some space. No CTs in the B bomb site just yet, but NiP don't know if it's safe to plant. Quickly edging around. Forest will see a player by the ramp. Throws a molly on the other side. Flashbang through the smoke. He's not carrying the bomb though. It's Lekro with the bomb. And where is Lekro? Behind the smoke, trying to plant it. Now 1 versus 2.
What an important clutch for Lekro. He does find some damage onto Karrigan, but not the kill. Really wants to make it 1v1, and Chris J will find him. Lovely stuff for Mousesports. What a save, though, because that started to get really, really desperate. It looks almost guaranteed until Woxic is holding a favorable position. Gets peeked by Dennis. What a great peek from Dennis. And NiP show their explosiveness and how dangerous they can be. Their money's out of control. Lekra is 16k. My god. All the money.
A lot of moolah.
Shows you that Mousesports have been struggling to really trade kills on the CT side.
Yeah, NiP's just been when they're winning rounds, they're only losing a couple players. Mousesports slowly finding their footing, but at what cost? Lost a lot of players last round.
And that was a round 2 where Mousesports got the first pick and was on a 5v4 for quite some time too. You can see that all the nades will go down into the Betty bomb side. They're so afraid of a fast rush after a slower round. And that Chris got ramp room already. NiP not really struggling to find map control on Nuke on the T side, which is awesome, because a lot of teams really do.
Early 5 versus 4 for Ninjas in Pyjamas. The stats, if you get the first pick, in general, pretty good for any team. The overall statistics, I forget the number, but they are favorable, of course. Significantly so. Maybe in the 60s in terms of percentage. Karrigan may be forced forward because surely at Molotov will spread. Oh, he has the faith. Oh, he looks away just at the wrong time. He's unlucky though not to get a full connection there. 26 HP, maybe the wall saving Karrigan. Chris J, Forest rather, Chris J taken out. 5 versus 2, unanswered frags again from Mousesports. They've got 2 rounds in this half so far. Not that many compared to Ninjas in Pyjamas, and they're about to lose another one. They seem to have less answers on their CT side than Ninjas in Pyjamas did.
Yeah, it's really awesome to see. Expected a very competitive game. I wasn't sure what we would see after that first half. I thought that Mousesports would probably run away with things, but NiP showing their tenure. And
running away from things.
Nuke has been it's been a really good map for NiP for quite some time. They've been working on it a lot. I think it really shows.
That hurts.
That is terrible.
That stings.
Yeah, that really hurts. All right, well, NiP.
Might as well start using your timeouts. You know, let's keep using them.
Yeah, they're not dying. Like, no one's killing them. a lot of these like multi-frag situations where you typically see a CT get like 2 or 3. We're only seeing 1 ever from Mousesports when NiP are rushing into sites, which is a struggle.
I wonder if we could have a stat page that showed the performance, the KD on both halves.
Revenge.
Woxic just getting nasty, isn't it? He doesn't often, doesn't too often double scope either. There's a lot of long ranges, like when you saw him get picked by Dennis earlier, when he was towards the right of where he is now. I think a lot of people are going for a double scope there. But personally, I find that I react slower for some reason when it's double scoped than versus a single scope. But obviously, it's more difficult to be accurate. But anyway. Ninjas in Pajamas will spot a rotation from Chris J, but now they are suffering the 4 versus 5. And despite Mousesports' failures so far in this half, they're only 1 round behind. Swift are able to make something happen here. It could be very fruitful for them. Oh, never mind fruit. It's about meat for Carrigan with the Mag 7, but he goes straight into the angle and he sprayed through. Too many footsteps. Maybe greedy picking up the rifle, but still, they will hold things, Mousesports. 4 versus 1. Lecro, is it a question of damage? I think it is, because his team have plenty of money and Mousesports definitely don't, but he's maybe got himself a chance to plant the bomb. 39 seconds, trying to catch players rotating. There are 2 players by Deacon. He's making a lot of noise now. Has he baited them all to rotate? He has. What is this ninja play from Lecro? Still trying to catch them on the rotation. Frozen baiting, stopping him from planting. His other teammates can rotate. Going to heaven now. Oh, this is absolute madness. Can he get around the corner? No, he's blocked. I respect the play, though. That is a beautiful double rotation from Lecro.
That was so close.
Yeah, and I think going for the fake is that the play he has to go for, because he needs someone to make a mistake. He needs that guy to go up the vent, then he gets the plant, then he's in 1v3. At least it's slightly more manageable then, but you're playing against players that are so good that if you don't find like a quick one-on-one there, it's just not going to happen. They're not going to let you make that one work, so. All right. 3rd round for Mousesports, but they're yet to string any rounds together, so let's see how they do here, because this is going right down to the wire. 13-13. Pre-nades again from Mousesports. NiP really conditioned them to be fearful of that. And we got someone running down lower, although some trades as well. And there it is. Oh, Chris, such an important kill to make. You know, get rid of that player on the flank. Look how fast NiP are moving down ramp as well. That ramp split. And Forrest in from the back from main. You didn't expect that. What the hell's going on? They're running back out of ramp in towards lobby again. What's going on?
It's a circus.
Off they go towards the A-bomb site. Ninjas in Pajamas. They've got a teammate there already, trying to hold things down as best he can. Can't cover everything, of course. The heaven area will be an issue. There we go. The bomb's been planted. Mousesports, what do you do now? It's a 3 versus 3. You've got utility. They don't know what the status of heaven is, so you could argue they don't really have position. Going towards main, wondering about heaven, but this is taking a lot of time as well. Chris J's sound cues will be heard, but he's got a pop flash for a teammate, so maybe it ends up being a bait. It's all in the plan. Here comes the flash from Woxic. A deep one, not heard because it's far away. Beautiful stuff. Can he find a second? No, he's got the information. There are kits on both plays. That bomb is so far ticked, though. Surely it's too late already. Going for it, but surely it's too late. The bomb's on the wrong side. Woxic's committed. All he could do is find another beautiful frag, a lovely snap. Will he survive? He won't. They lose everything, Mousesports. It was really a thin line, but there's only so many rounds they can give up and save on.
It's an incredible... NiP's playing this map so wild. Their timing on taking choke points and map position is so, as Dan said, confident on how they're taking. Like, they're down ramp at 132. Already down lower, working the map and stuff like that, and it looks like they just have this map coordination on point. It's one of the best I've seen out of all teams.
It's the kind of confidence that when that confidence is there for NiP, that's when they go deep in tournaments. They're a team that needs to play like this. The thing is, if you're a team that's able to shut this down with good utility, good reads, then they start to lose traction oftentimes in the map. As things start to slow down, they get a little bit weaker. But Rops, well, get right. I presume that they did actually hear get right dropping to the vents, and that's not always been the case. But look how quick again NiP are down. Secret with Dennis leading the charge, and I think they've just been joined by Forrest as well, moving down Secret. Rops lurking around in the lower bomb side. This is a very difficult position because of the peaks all over the place. Rops can't find it. I presume the glass maybe made that a bit more difficult than he wanted it to be. And I don't think anyone's in position now. This is looking desperate, and they've got to go for the save. Wow, NiP are keeping them on the back foot so effectively. They're winning so many important 1v1s. Imagine if Rops wins that 1v1, where he has the first couple bullets with the AUG. It changes everything.
If I were to tell you that you won 10 rounds on Nuke T side and you're about to lose the map, how would you feel?
That's not good, is it?
I feel pretty salty.
Cedar Creek is beautiful, though.
So what I'm worried about, Dan, I want to worry about the W.
Lovely scenery. I wonder what's happened to that truck.
Looks
You're
like
probably driving it.
He's got his license. You can't talk to him like that.
Hey, where's your license, James?
I got boat license.
There's no roads where we're going. Back to the future.
I can drive just illegally. Game point for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Didn't look likely at the end of the first half, but what a stark difference a second half can make. Almost every round on their T side, we've seen some great reads from them. We've seen some beautiful plays into the A bomb site, just abusing the numbers game. Great trades, working together, wide swinging, all the bits and bobs, the bells and whistles. So many Mag 7s we've seen for Mousesports, and it's doubled this time. We've seen Karrigan on quite a few, obviously holding the L for his teammates to have better weapons, but now Frozen has a Mag 7 as well. There's flames all over the place. Positions compromised by Mousesports, and that may force them to use more utility than they want to at this point in the round. Woxic makes his way towards the secret position. He is welcomed with another Molotov, it seems, so they seem to have a good idea of what he wants to do, or what somebody wants to do. Oh, that's so much information. Karrigan's been lurking there so often. They know there's shortcomings. Maybe there's shotguns. Frozen's taken out as well. NiP are playing this to a T.
Yeah, NiP are actually getting value from their utility in like map control and so on. A lot of teams will throw like stuff like Molotovs and so on, but they won't actually get anything from it. And so I'm liking that so much. And Woxic, oh, he's got to be so careful. Dennis is set up. Oh, he spotted it. So easy. And Mousesports, they're looking for answers. They're in a position where they drop the first player. Karrigan's weak. They're low on utility. They need to start moving to try to find an engagement, get some information. And that's when NiP press the pause button. And they're waiting for it. They set it up. And now they make it worse. They compound your problems with excellent positioning. NiP ready for the slam dunk, it seems.
They're only 2 rounds away, Mousesports. They are only 2 rounds away, but it's only 2 people remaining. Chris J's been picked off. He needed 2, Karrigan. He only got the 1. Rops is in a good position, but he can't stop the bomb from going down. He can take a player out. Can he find a second? Doing the best he can, but it won't be enough on this occasion. 16-13, a second half comeback from Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Wow.
A very dominant T half. Monstrous stuff from them.
That has to be one of the best T sides of Nuke I've ever seen. Not just the fact of how many rounds they've won, but positioning on their T side, how they always outplayed, always knew how Mousesports was rotating, and they abused that so much to the T. It's like, can they do this again? That's how good it was. Can they do this again?
Yeah, it's really impressive. I like how every time, like they had a really objective-based pacing whereby, as I mentioned before, they have a plan in the beginning of the rounds. They set out to achieve certain things by certain times, and they got it. And they emphasized map control with their utility and their movement. They did some awesome fakes right at the beginning, fakes you don't really see, which, where they convince the opponent team to just go for this crazy over rotation down lower, and they go back up to upper. That's how they started their T side. It's awesome.
Beautiful stuff. We can see a good average, I think, on both sides. For the most part, Frozen falling a little short. Same could be said for Get Right, but almost 3,000 damage for Forest, who is one of the most consistent people in Counter-Strike, in my opinion. That is Nuke in the bag for Ninjas in Pyjamas, so perhaps there'll be an upset in terms of the fan predictions after all. Maybe Bardov will be out on top, as well as Ninjas in Pyjamas by the end of this Best of 3 series. But there's plenty more Counter-Strike to come, so stay tuned. We'll be going to a short break. When we're back, map number 2 of this Best of 3 series.